Once you've mastered solving inequalities, you can move into a little more complicated piece of solving absolute value inequalities. When dealing with absolute value inequalities, this is the statement that's important to remember. If it's a less than absolute value inequality, it becomes an and statement. And if it's a greater absolute value inequality, it becomes an or statement. Now, what do we mean by that? Well, let's start with something like this. And I like to bring out my Southern twang on this. So less than becomes and. Notice this is a less than statement. So we're going to take what's inside the absolute value and we're going to put it in between the value, both positive and negative. So less than becomes and. Now we will solve as we would previously. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, or all the sides in this case. -8 minus 3 becomes -11 is less than or equal to -x less than or equal to 5. Don't forget here I'm dividing by a -1. And when I divide by a negative, I have to flip my inequalities. So these are going to flip, and this is going to become 11 is greater than x is greater than or equal to -5. But we like numbers to go in order, so I'll simply rewrite this. Notice that the alligators, if you think of those as alligators' mouth, continue to eat the same values they were eating, and we end up with, on a number line, -5 filled in because it's less than or equal to is less than x up to 11, and it's in between. So if we wrote that as an interval, it would be from -5 to 11. So that's a less than statement. A greater statement would look something like this. Perhaps we have 3 plus w is less w plus 9 greater than or equal to 9. First of all, I want to isolate my absolute value. So I'm going to divide everything by 3, which leaves me with the absolute value of w plus 9 is greater than or equal to 3. That greater tells me it's going to be an or statement. So I write it as it is originally, or w plus 9 is less than or equal to, I wrote a 9, this should be a 3, less than or equal to -3. So notice we keep it as written, and then we switch the sign and change this to a negative. I solve each piece, and I get w is greater than or equal to -6, or subtracting 9 here, I get w is less than or equal to -12. When I plot each of those, I have less than or equal to -12, greater than or equal to -9. And as intervals, notice that's going to have 2 pieces. I'm going to go from -infinity to -12 with brackets for the 12 because it is an equal to statement, or from -9 up to +infinity.